Okay, so welcome to this week's Outfitter Tales as we sort of approach the will be the end of January really when this comes out, or closing in on it. So we've got the game shooting season finished. So what we've got for you this week, we've got a nice clip, cover a little bit of that shortly. Also a little bit of an update on the Great British Shooting Show from the NEC. Just want to cover that briefly, and the shooting awards, and a little bit of an update on what we're doing and why I'm sat here on my own. So, what are we doing this week? Well, Rab is down in Argyll. He's still with Robert from Germany, basically chasing Seeker and Red Hinds around. I've got clients up here, a beginner couple really, which was quite nice, that I had this week, which was basically young couple, husband and wife, spoke to me at the Scottish Game Fair, interested in getting into stalking. Neither have shot before, exactly the sort of demographic that we're trying to attract into the sport, and it was great to talk to them. So following on from that conversation, they arrived with me beginning of this week. Had a nice couple of days out with them. We filmed a bit of that, so we'll be bringing you that as a separate package. So I won't say too much about that now, but really great. These are the sort of people that we really need as a stalking shooting organisations to be bringing into the sport. So it was great to do that, so really enjoyed that. We've got Storm, whatever it is, I can't remember, facing us as I record this. It's coming tomorrow. So if we're still here next week, we'll see what happens. But I think at one point, they're talking about hurricane strength winds hitting the Irish coast over there. So we're no doubt going to cop a bit of that. So that'll be interesting, because I'm supposed to, well, both Rab and I will be stalking in that tomorrow. So we'll see what transpires there. Right, so Great British Shooting Show. A lot of work now going on behind the scenes on Outfitter Tales. New gilet. With the logo. Got some sponsors on board, talking to a few more, so we're definitely going to be able to bring you some prizes. We're probably going to run a competition which we'll announce at the Great British Shooting Show at sort of into February. And what I will actually say is thank you very much, and I've not done this publicly yet, but thank you very much for voting, and I am delighted to be on the shortlist for Professional Stalker of the Year. This would be my 7th year if I was fortunate enough to win it. So I've held that accolade for the last 6 years, which to me is a great honour, and I thank everybody involved in voting. But what I will say is that regardless of what happens this year, and good luck to all the categories, some great people, professional stalker, gamekeeper, dog trainer, everything. Anybody that's been nominated, well done. Good luck to everybody. Were I successful again for my 7th year, then I will at this point, I did talk about doing this last year, but I won't stand again, or I would ask for my name not to be put forward onto the shortlist. I think it's time somebody else got a look in, and that's not to detract from the honour and privilege it's been to be and held that position, and but I think it's time really to give somebody else a chance. So we'll watch this space and see what happens in February, but we will be making some announcements as well about OT, Outfitter Tales, down at the show, and we're hoping to have some of our clips up on the big screen at the show. So we will be down there on the Friday. So if anybody's around on the Friday, then hopefully we'll see you there. So coming up, we have a clip. Hope you enjoy this one. Okay, we're actually down at Rab's spot. Garrowloop's just up at the top. It's a lovely morning. It's quite cold actually. It's very, very still. But we're going to just have a look at the glen here. There's a sort of Penkill glen comes down from the castle. It's quite steep sided, and they've done some felling, I don't know, probably about a year, 18 months ago now. It's quite tricky to stalk this one with clients because it's really awkward. There's some quite steep bankings and that. We're going to struggle with the sound this morning actually because it is flat calm, but we're just going to go up the glen. The wind's kind of blowing across us, so we should be all right. Should suck it down there. Been a couple of roebucks, young roebucks, just coming out onto the crop on the edge here, so we're going to go and have a look and see what's happening there. But particularly, there's been quite a lot of damage, a lot of frame damage to the larch, some young larch trees on the edge of the forward track, and there's a buck really smashing them. So I want to go and try and find the culprit and see if we can sort that out, because that's good. He's doing a lot of damage. Basically just generally have a look, bit of a recce, see what's what. But there's been some real nasty mists rolling in as the sun comes up. It's quite cold now from what will be hot, and you can start to see the mist rolling in, so we may get fogged in, but we shall see what happens. Here. No, something just moving in here. Something just moved across there. Well, that was a badger maybe. Badger. Badger. Come through Good girl. Back here, come on. Okay, so just to demonstrate why, I mentioned earlier on it's quite tricky to bring clients in here. I mean, the vegetation is a nightmare, and we've basically just had to do the north slope of Everest to climb up, scramble, crawl, fall over up this bank which is sheer below us. But the problem is when they were harvesting this, the forward track had come in on this side and they couldn't even dig a gully out to work across here, so they then had to come in from the bottom. So there's a forward track across the top which we can stalk, and it's awkward enough when you're on a track. And then it picks up a forward track down in the bottom there, which goes down to where we set off. So the only way you can stalk up the glen is crampons and ice pick. It's alright for the dog, she's got 4-wheel drive, but we're still on 2-wheel drive. She's got low box as well. So we take a minute to get our breath back, and then we're now going to work along the ridge line. The mist is coming in, the low clouds coming in, but we can still see. The benefit of the thermal now is we can look into cover from up above. It's a huge game changer in terrain like this. There's a roebuck up above us, the dog was indicating on the bottom of the tracks. We knew there was a deer there, but the steep bank goes up and then it plateaus out, and we were down in the bottom. So she's picking the wind up over the corner of the bank, and it actually did just come to the edge and looked down, but was not happy with what it saw, and then it decided it's not a good idea and barked off this way somewhere. So we might come across that a bit further on. But there's a nice glen now which we've not disturbed. We've made a bit of racket getting up here, but there is a bit of breeze coming down now, and there's quite a steep glen just in front of us which we're going to work slowly to, so hopefully there'll be something in there. There's not a lot of deer movement this morning, but it's kind of one of those still mornings where deer just couch down, and if they're couched and not moving in this ground, then we ain't going to see them, so we need that movement. But we're getting into the area where there's been a lot of frame damage by some bucks up here on the edge of the larch, so hopefully one or two of those lads is meandering about causing mayhem, and we can find one. I think there's some oxygen around the corner as well.
This is why you should have range covers.
So we've done quite a long stalk up the glen. There's not a lot of rain damage down there, and it's really thick, it's hard going. I've seen a couple of deer. Really tricky, I mean the conditions are against us, but we're now getting into the area where there's an awful lot of rain damage. There's some larch. These young self-seeds that are on the track are really being bashed around by a young buck. So this is his patch, so it's just about that time of day when you kind of expect your youngs to be patrolling. We've got a little bit of wind, so we're just we're probably at the end of the glen shortly, but so this is where he's most active, so we're gonna just carefully go along this forward track and just see if we can catch him out. And everything today is in the deer's favour. It's just flat calm. You can hear a pin drop, the mist rolling in, so it knocks your visibility. The only thing we've got, the thermal to a degree now, comes into its own because you can actually see into the murk a little bit. So she seems quite interested up here, so I don't know whether she's picking some scent up, but so this is his patch, so we'll see if he's about. There's a couple of rows feeding. They're just literally over this next lip. This is going to be really tricky because we're going to be so close to a nice flat calm, but there's no other way really to approach him. Try and get up above him, which is going to make too much noise. So we'll just see what happens. But there's a couple of rows literally just around this corner. See, the problem we've got is that easy shot. It's only 100 yards of a young buck. That's the one that's been doing a lot of damage, but I've got no safe shot. But set the rifle up because I was just hoping he would come forward and give me a backstop on the mound there, or maybe he'd just work into that. In fact, it's still there, so he might still do it. So I'm going to hold fire because he's fraying. He may well work towards us, and if he goes into that bank in there, then I've got a shot from here. Okay, so while we're waiting for the buck to move, we're getting eaten alive by the midges, which are now starting to get quite bad. Okay, so here's the thing then. We're 15 yards from a little roebuck that's been causing a lot of damage after a cracking stalk. Absolutely nothing, no margin for error, so very slowly get the rifle on the stick without making any noise, and then get the bipod stuck on the binocular harness on my back, so I couldn't get the bipod on. So after several attempts of rattling around and banging and dragging, and Rob very kindly unhooked my bra strap, at which point the buck had thought, well, that's not a good idea and bugger off. But that's what's good about stalking. Frustrating. He's doing a lot of damage as well, this one, so it needs to go. It would have gone this morning. Should have gone this morning. Midges are lovely. Absolutely lovely. It's only really noticing when you stop and you're trying to just wait
And do some filming.
and do some filming. And now she's still looking down there at something. But ordinarily, without being eaten alive by Midge, I would probably have stood and waited back there because I thought that butt was going to do what it did, which eventually it's worked down and come round, and we would have had a shot from where we were, but it was not possible to stand there under that level of Midge. I'm just going to look down here because she's just indicating. So that's, I think we're going to sack it now, to be honest. I mean, this mist is rolling in, and the midges are, well, there's a little bit of breeze picking up, but the breeze is now wrong, so it's going us that way. So there's a little point moving on. And I think, nice stalk, but one thing I've used him for the first time this morning. This is the infrared eye, EH35 thermal. Going to be doing a bit of a longer term test on this, so we'll do a bit more of an in-depth review when I've used it a bit more. But initially, I'm very impressed. I think price bracket is very good. It's mid-range. I like the fact that when you close down the lens cover, it goes into standby mode, and then you've got a fairly simple operation to turn it off and put it back on again. So that's a nice feature. It's compact, really fits in the hand well. I don't wear them around my neck. I wear it in the pouch, so it's really good for that. Like the eyepiece there, flexible, but again, if you don't want that, you can just move that back. But it's really handy. Function buttons are simple, which again is a great feature. You've got a dial here which basically control everything really via this central wheel, and then the record facility is just a button. All in all, really good bit of kit. Very compact, very neat, just about the right amount of weight. I like it a lot, and I do like that feature. So that puts the unit into standby mode and then opens her up again. It really just feels good. Picture's extremely clear. Colour palette, pretty standard as you would expect in a thermal, but generally initial impressions are extremely good. So I say I'll do a bit more of an in-depth review, but this is the infrared eye EH35. Right, so I think important occasionally to put a clip on where we don't actually succeed, and I didn't succeed for a variety of reasons, all of which will be self-evident. I don't think myself that stalking is all about going out and actually killing a deer. At the end of the day, some stalks are successful and some are not, but for a variety of reasons you'll see why this one wasn't, and that doesn't detract at all from me for being out on the ground. And I actually really do quite enjoy that. I do like to be defeated periodically. Some of it was self-inflicted, again, as you will see. Thanks very much to the guys at Highland Outdoors who supplied me with a Spartan bipod, which will hopefully resolve some of the issues that I had on that particular stalk. And the other thing that I will mention is this is one of the first trials we've got with outsourcing some of the editorial work out to another individual to put the clip together. So we're trialling a few people at the moment who are possibly going to work with us, and what that will do ultimately is allow us to bring you fresh content right across the spectrum, the country sports spectrum, and we will also announce very shortly some of the people who are prepared to work us and back us in that venture. There we go. That's the show. Hope you enjoy this clip. Any feedback, please let us know. And as always, please keep watching. Please keep subscribing. The subscribing we need because the viewing figures help us get sponsorship. Sponsorship helps us bring this to you, and also gifts and prizes that we can offer periodically throughout the show. So it's a good night from me. It's a good night from him in Argyll. And if we're still here next week after the storm hits us, the hurricane or whatever it is, then we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.